What's good, everybody? This your boy Jay Shad from the Behind the Bench Network. I wanted to drop a quick little video and talk about the future of the Miami Heat and what I expect for them to go out and do this summer to bounce back. See, Miami believes that they have a window, and their window, if you look at it, is for the next 2 to 3 years. Even though Jimmy Butler is getting up in age, I'll say this, they have a 2-year window. And they need to strike now while the iron's hot. But they need to get them a bona fide superstar scorer. As you've seen in the finals, Jimmy Butler, and through the playoffs, he came out hot. He came out spanking hot versus the Bucks. Slowed down a little bit versus New York, and then from then he just started slowing down more and more. And when he got to Boston, he was just looking like Jimmy Butler. But let me say this about Jimmy Butler: he may be the best number 2 wingman if he's paired with the right superstar. Meaning, you can't just pair Jimmy Butler with a Devin Booker, right? You can't pair him with a Devin Booker. You can't pair him with a Kevin Durant. Why? Because even though they can score in bunches, and they can hit big shots, where they lack is the will to win. And a lot of NBA players nowadays don't have the will to win. But it's one out there. And before I even give you this player, I'm going to give you two. Now, one has the will to win. The other one, I believe he have it, but he ain't been put in situations to do it, right? And the first player I'm going to put out there who the Miami Heat needs to go after, because like I said, if you pair him with Jimmy Butler, it will instantly be their team, but Jimmy Butler would respect these two players. Now, is it a super team? No, it would not be a super team. Why? Because when I think of super teams, I think of franchise players playing in their prime together. I don't look at it like, well, you got Giannis, which is a superstar. You got Chris Middleton, which is an all-star caliber player. And then let's say that they added, let me put a player out there. Let's say that they added Zach LaVine. I don't think that's a super team. Why? Because I don't think a lot of people is saying to themselves, if we could get Chris Middleton on our team, we could build them up and be a contender. Chris Middleton as a number 1 is not going to take your team to a championship. Zach LaVine as a number 1 is not going to take your team to a championship, even though he thinks he's on that caliber type of player. But I beg to differ, and I believe he probably could have, but he needed to be more seasoned playing in college to learn how to win and be put in big time games, which he never really did coming out after his first year in college. So I think his growth was stunning. And then on top of that, he's not a great defender. But, so if you put those three players together, I don't look at them as a super team. They're more like a big three. You know, 2 all-stars and a superstar. And I wouldn't even have a problem if those 3 players linked up. You see what I'm saying? Even though Giannis has proven that all he need is one capable scorer that's going to give you anywhere between 18 to 24 points, and he could get it done. But I'm just giving you an example, because the player that I'm about to add to this Miami Heat squad, if they're able to pull off a trade, because the Miami Heat reported that they will go out this summer and try to snag a big-time player, okay? And which leads me to, who can they be interested with? Well, the first player that I wanted to name is Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal could score. He could score in bunches. He just ain't never been on a team where he have to be the man night in and night out and hit the big shots. But he still don't have to do it, because depending on if Jimmy Butler got it going, then you're good. You could ride off his coattails. But if he don't have it going, then it's up to you, Beal, to come in and take over the game, which he's capable of doing. A lot of people don't know his game because they haven't really seen him play. And that's because he's been, locked in with Washington. And Washington ain't really been on national television. They haven't been on in the playoffs that people could see him play. But Jimmy Butler and a Bradley Beal with Bam and a couple other pieces that they have, they could go back to the finals and they could have a chance to win the finals. I'm not saying that they'll be the favorites, but they could have a real chance of winning the title, because Jimmy Butler's that good. He elevates the players around him better. He's not a me, but he needs somebody on his team that could just go ahead and know he's going to be consistent and give him 28. You see what I'm saying? Because Jimmy Butler, he's not a type of scorer that could average 28 and 30 points a night for the whole season. But he could give you those nights where when he got it going, and he's giving you that type of production. Now, the other player, and this player, you always hear him, he'll say, I don't want to play with a super team. And that's cool. Ain't nobody saying that you have to go play with a super team. But if he went to the Miami Heat and it was him and Jimmy Butler, I think that team can win a title and could be a favorite. And that's Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard is a big shot maker. He's proven he could score. He could give you the buckets that's needed late in games. And I believe Butler and Dame can coexist and respect each other. And it takes a lot of pressure off of Jimmy. So now, instead of Jimmy trying to score 28, Jimmy could score 22 points, shoot a higher shooting percentage, and then he could guard the best teams, the best offensive player. Now he could focus most of his time on defense, which he thrives at. He wants to embarrass whoever he's guarding. He wants to show people, I'm the best defender in the game. But when you got to score and play defense, you got to be built different. And that's those Michael Jordan's, Kobe Bryant type of players, where they could score 30 points, but then they could lock the other team defender down. I ain't gonna say lock them down, but they can make it a difficult night for that scorer to get their average by shooting a poor percentage. Because anytime you shoot a poor percentage, it's a victory for the opposing team, because that means it's a bad possession. You see what I'm saying? So I think Bradley Beal and Dame Lillard will be the two players that the Miami Heat is going to try to push to get this offseason. I'm your boy Jay Shad. This is the Behind the Bench Network. Look out for my boys Kelvin, JB, and Jermaine. Follow our content, subscribe, share it, because we're going to give you sports talk in a different way. Other than that, until the next video, I'm out.